I'm going to do this because it's funny and cute. Alright, we're ready to start that eye look, and today I'm using the Too Faced Then and Now palette. Honestly, I don't think this palette got enough love when it first came out, and I am a huge supporter of going back into your makeup collection and pulling things out that maybe you haven't used in a while, that, you know, need a little bit more love. So I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't think I always have to have the newest palettes that come out, because you can do beautiful eye looks with things you still have in your collection, and I don't think the everyday person is buying 85, 100 eye palettes. So I'm going to continue to go back into my makeup room and pull out things that I haven't used in a while, and this happens to be one of them. This palette is absolutely stunning. I mean, the colors are gorgeous. You can make a beautiful fall look and night look. I don't really do day and night looks. I wear whatever I want, whatever time of day it happens to be. But I know a lot of people prefer to do a lighter look during the day and one at night, and this palette is so capable of doing so many different looks. You can do colorful, you can do neutrals. It's just gorgeous. I love it. And the packaging, I mean, it's absolutely stunning. So we're going to start out though. I'm not going to keep holding it up because it weighs about 9 million pounds, because this is a big palette, but I will tell you the names and kind of what the shades are that I'm picking up, because again, you don't have to use this exact palette to follow along if you don't want to. I'm mostly going to be using some burgundies and some browns today, and I'm sure you have those kinds of colors already in your makeup stash, so pull those out and let's get to work. I'm going to start out with the shade Gretchen, which is a nice light transition matte shade. Pick a little bit up on my Morphe M441. It's a nice fluffy blending brush, and start putting that into the crease. I did use eye primer. It is the Ulta matte eye primer. I really like it. It does seem to prolong the wear of my shadows, and I don't ever get any kind of patching, skipping with it. And I don't set it. I just put it on and let it sit for a few minutes, and then I go ahead in with my shadows, and so far it's worked really, really well. So kudos to Ulta. I've been finding quite a few of their products very handy and affordable, so don't skip out on them when you're looking for makeup. Check it out. It's so easy to order on their online site. No, this isn't sponsored. They have no idea who I am or anything, but I do shop at Ulta online quite a bit, because we don't have an Ulta anywhere near us. I believe the closest one is probably an hour, maybe even a little more. So I do a lot of my shopping at Ulta online. The items ship quick, and I've actually never had anything come broken from Ulta or missing. So I've had really good luck ordering online from them. And right now they're having their sale, so you could check that out. I should have checked for creasing. I don't get a lot of creasing with this particular eye primer, but I should have checked before I went in with the eyeshadow. It looks fine though, so we're good. If there were any creases, you should definitely pat those out before you start, or when you put the powder on, it's just going to set the crease and it's going to be there. So that's just a little tip I learned the hard way. And I'm going for kind of a fall look today. It doesn't feel very fall outside today, which is fine by me. I love warmer weather. It's my absolute favorite, and I could have summer all year long. I really could. This is a very pretty shade. I'm really getting it in there and blending it very well. Easy to build up, no fallout that I can see. It's just a really pretty matte light brown shade. It's warm without being too dark, although I am going to be using very, very warm shades today. There's a specific shade in this palette that I rediscovered last night. I don't know if anybody else does this or if this is weird, but I'm going to admit it right here on YouTube. I sometimes will take out a basket of my palettes and go through them and swatch them and just kind of play around with them. It helps me to come up with eye looks and different ideas and different things I want to do. It just kind of gets my creativity going. And that's what I did last night, and this one happened to be in the basket that I pulled, and there's a shade in here called Temper, and it is gorgeous. It has this, it's almost kind of shifting in color where it looks like it's orangey sometimes and then a really beautiful wine color in other light. It's just really, really pretty. So I'm going to be throwing that all over my lid. This is going to be a pretty simple eye look, actually. I'm going to be, I threw in a brown in the crease. I'm going to take my finger because I find that's the best way for these shimmers to work. I'm going to take some of that Temper and I'm going to put it all over the lid, and then we'll go from there. I kind of use a pat and then swipe motion. You can use a type of glitter glue if you're afraid of the fallout, and there is a tiny bit from that shade. Luckily it's right under the eye, so more than likely it will be covered up when I do my lower lash line anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. There's that shade on the lid. Again, if it makes you feel better, you could put on a type of glitter primer. I really don't think you need it. I don't tend to have any problems with Too Faced eyeshadows creasing or not lasting. The only eyeshadows I've used that sometimes do that are maybe, and because eyeshadows have come such a long way from when I was a kid and just starting out playing with makeup. Yeah, we're going to have to put some concealer on in this inner eye area. I got a bunch of that shade. For some reason, it really came off on that eye. Okay, so now I'm going to take a smaller brush and we're going to add some depth to the outer corner. So I'm going to choose a nice dark shade from the palette. It's called I Can't Even, and it's very, very soft and very pigmented. Little tiny bit. All I did was touch the palette, and there's a huge fuzzy. Do not need that on my eye. Okay, we're going to just kind of pat that in, or we're going to have fallout all over our face, because I can tell that it's a very, very soft shadow. Beautiful, beautiful color though. And then I'm going to kind of bring that up into the crease just a little bit. So outer V area, and then push it into the crease just a tiny bit. And yes, we are going to go back in and definitely blend out those edges. I don't want any real harsh lines. These colors are such beautiful fall colors. Wow. I love it. I'm going to switch to my fluffy brush again. This is the M441, and I'm sorry, that tiny smudger brush was an R41. And I'm going to blend that kind of just around the edges. I don't want to lose that depth of color, but I also don't need it to be really, really harsh either. And I don't want to take it too far into the inner corner because I will be adding lighter color towards the inner corner. So we're going to brighten that part up a little bit. So don't want to take that darker color over too far. Now, for the inner corner, I have a very, very light gold, and I'm going to try taking it on this, I think it's a concealer brush, but it does work well for packing shimmers on the inner corner especially because it's kind of small. It's an R42, and I'm going to take one, it's a very sparkly shade called Pixie Dust. It's fitting, it's a very sparkly shade, so we'll see how well this works over top of the dark shimmer. I'm not sure. I may have to switch to a different brush as well. I'm just kind of packing that into the inner corner to give it a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of a light. And then you can, I am dragging it a little bit up the crease, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I want it to blend into the other colors. What we did to one side, we will do to the other. So we're going to take, again, that I Can't Even shade, nice dark burgundy, and pat it into the center corner. And drag it into the crease, I'm sorry. Deepen up that outer corner a bit. It goes really well with the Temper shimmer. Go down on the lash line a little bit, and then in through the crease just a bit. Not too far over. We don't want to look like we got punched in the face. That's not a look I'm going for. Now we are again going to blend out those edges. Don't go too far into your inner corner when you're blending. And again, I had a bit of fallout, so I may have to add some powder or something under the eyes to cover up some of that fallout. But for as pigmented and powdery as these shades were when working with them, I'm surprised I didn't have more fallout, so it's fine. Nothing I can't fix. Now I'm going to take that same packing brush that we used before. It's a nice flat, I think it's a concealer brush, but hey, use your tools in many different ways. You don't have to use them exactly as they say you need to use them for. They're your tools, and it's whatever works, right? So I'm using a concealer brush to put on a very glittery, shimmery eyeshadow. And it's doing a marvelous job. So I think we're going to go ahead and clean up the bottom here just a tiny bit before we move on, because I need to do the lower lash line, and I don't really want to do that until I have it cleaned up a bit. So how about my CoverGirl True Blend It's Lit Concealer. I'm going to take a tiny bit of that on my finger and just pat it kind of where we have some fallout. Can also be a good way to clean up the edge of your shadow if you think you've come out a little too far. But you sincerely need the tiniest little bit. You don't want to put a whole bunch of concealer under your eye, or it's just going to look cakey and weird. Okay? So the tiniest bit that will still cover it up is what we're looking for. There we go. I am satisfied with that. Like I said, tiniest little bit. And I think the rest of it is going to look fine once we get the lower lash line done. So, okay. Just going to repeat on the lower lash line sort of what we did above. And I really like this tiny brush for that. It's an M506 from Morphe. It's a tiny little brush for under the eyes. I'm going to go in with the first brown shade that we started with, called Gretchen. Pick a little bit of that up and apply that to the lower lash line. Actually, I was online last night looking, window shopping, I guess, and some of my, this is lovely, I do believe I have eyeshadow or something in my hair. That's nice. It's glittery. I noticed that they are going to be having the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencils half off. I want to say it's the 21st, and that is quite a deal. Urban Decay eye pencils are probably my favorite eye pencils because, one, they have really unique shades that I don't see anybody else coming out with, and two, they really super stay put. This is, I'm sorry, this is I Can't Even, same shade we used on the top to darken up the outer corner. And you can do it both ways. I don't usually pay attention to if I'm doing it differently, but you can do the darkest shade first and then go back in and blend it out with the light shade, or you can start with the light shade and then add the dark. I don't think it makes any difference really. Now I'm going to do a inner corner highlight because I love it. This is a step that you could skip if you wanted to. And I'm going to use the shade, at the end of this palette there are two of the shades that are actually split in two. They're like halved, and I'm using the one on the bottom called Ooh La La, but honestly it's just a really pretty champagne shimmer, and you could use highlight, you could use whatever you want. It just so happens that today I am going to spray it a little bit, and you can use any of your setting sprays or priming waters for that. It just makes it show up a little brighter. Today I used liquid highlighter, and I suppose I could have used that in my inner corner. I've never tried, to be honest, using a liquid highlighter in my inner corner. I'm also going to take a tiny bit of that and put it right on the brow bone. It is a little different than the color that I used on the inner portion of my eye, in that this one has no glitter, and I really prefer to keep the glitters away from right there in my inner corner. I have no idea what that is, but it needs to get off of it. I don't like the chunkier glitters near my inner corner, so that's why I'm using a different shade for the highlights. Can you see the highlight above my eye though? Everything is listed down below for my face products, but if you haven't tried Neutrogena's Glow On liquid highlighters yet, the shade that I have is Moonlight, what are you called? Moonlight Galaxy. It is so beautiful. It is such a gorgeous highlighter, and it's so easy to blend out. I just really enjoy that. Okay, that is it for the eyeshadows, and now I chose a liner from Melt, my second favorite liners of all time. This is the All Day Everyday Reflect eyeliner in Filth. They have very unique shades as far as the eyeliners go. Well, all of their products really are very innovative, and I love this color, and their names like Filth, Mildew, Stash, they're very cool. Wait, Stash might be an Urban Decay, I'm sorry, I'm not sure about that one. Either way, they have beautiful colored eyeliners, and the shade names are kind of cool too. If you like, especially if you like really grungy kind of looks, Melt has some beautiful eyeliners and eyeshadows. So that is what I chose today, and I think it looks really good with this Temper shimmer. I also am trying something new today. I have a favorite for my tight lining, a favorite black, and it just hasn't been staying put lately, so I'm going to try something else. This one is a waterproof one, and it's from Hard Candy, so very affordable. I found it at Walmart. This is a waterproof black in their Stroke of Gorgeous liners, if I can get the lid off. Okay, so I'm going to try tight lining with this. A lot of people don't like that, so if you don't like the looks of that, you can turn away or fast forward. I need to warm it up on my hand a little bit. It's not coming off as well as I would like. This will make your eyelashes look thicker. I'll try to show you one with and one without when I'm done, to show you kind of why I torture myself like this. Some days it makes my eyes water really bad, and other days it doesn't bother me at all. So I hope you can see the difference between the two eyes. One is just, the lash line looks darker and more full, and that's what I'm going for. That's why I do it. You can totally skip this step though. So if you can't, you can't. No biggie, still beautiful either way. Your makeup, your face, you get to make the decisions. That's part of the fun of it. And it really stays put because I'm trying to wipe it off of my hand right now and it's going nowhere. So I'm going to have to get a makeup wipe for that. So hopefully it stays on the waterline better than the other. The other one that I was using is, I'm just touching up the waterline. The other one that I usually use is a Maybelline product. It's their teeny tiny skinny one that comes in the pink packaging. And I liked it, but all of a sudden it just started transferring to the lower lash line really bad, and I didn't care for that. It would just get all over and you couldn't even see my waterline color. Next, we're going to do lashes. Get out my trusty curler. There are a lot of people I've seen say that they are really afraid of eyelash curlers. I've always curled my lashes. I'm not sure what they're afraid of. Are they afraid that they will pull them off? I'm not sure, but I've never had an issue ever losing a lash because of a lash curler. I'm now going to put on a primer. I do love eyelash primers. They work, especially this one. I'm not sure about the more expensive ones because I haven't tried them yet, but this one is very affordable. It's L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Base, and you can find it at drugstores, any drugstore. Obviously, L'Oreal is very well known, and it goes on white, but it dries clear. Not that it matters because you're covering it up anyway, but I do top and bottom lashes. I am not blessed with giant lashes, although since I've been using a serum for my lashes, they have been growing again. And I've also been taking hair and nail vitamins. Oops. And that seems to be helping the growth of my hair in general, because I did this thing, and I had done it before, but this past year I had the worst time of it. Usually in the fall I like to go a little darker with my hair color. I'm sorry if you're looking at mostly my hair bow. I have to get pretty close to see my lashes. But I usually go darker with my hair color in the fall. I like to do that, actually. I like to change up my hair colors a lot. But this last time that I did it, and I tried to go light again, it seemed to really damage my hair. And now I'm just trying to kind of keep trimming it off and letting it grow and not do too much to it. So I will not be going dark this fall. I'm going to let it be. I'm using the Too Faced. This is the Better Than Love mascara, which I guess is the same thing as the Better Than Sex mascara, but they decided to release it somewhere and those people, they felt they would find the word sex on their mascara offensive, so they changed it to love. This is the story that I saw, I read somewhere. I'm sorry. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. This is the waterproof version, so it's in the blue packaging. It's absolutely adorable. It's got like little water droplets on it. It's so cute. Anyway, I happened to find this at TJ Maxx, and I've been meaning to try the Better Than Sex mascara. It's just, it's on my list of things I wanted to try. I just don't find mascara that glamorous, and I end up making other purchases like eyeliner and face palettes and eyeshadow palettes, and don't spend my money on the mascara. This is a really nice mascara. I really like it. Do I think it's better than my L'Oreal Lash Paradise? Not really, no. So that's why I really just didn't want to spend that kind of money on a mascara, because I think there are so many at the drugstore that are excellent. This is the Maybelline Lash Discovery. I've been using this for a long time for the lower lash line because it's waterproof and it has a teeny tiny wand, and it makes it really easy to really get in there and pull those lashes down. I don't have any problems with smudging or anything, but I don't really have. It may be different for somebody else that maybe has oily skin. I don't really know. That doesn't mean that I don't smudge it onto myself like I did right now, but I don't see it flaking or smudging during the day. I'll just clean that up after it dries. Leave it be. So for my lips today, make sure I don't still have any of that Neutrogena balm on. And I am going to put on a Buxom lip liner. I love these things. These were on sale 50% off at Ulta not that long ago. This one's called Restricted. A lot of people don't like these because of how thick they are. I do, because I tend to fill in my entire lip when I use one. And today, as a matter of fact, this is the only color I'm going to use with a gloss on top. So it's a nude, but it's a little bit orangey. It's a little bit pink. I do overline a tiny bit in the Cupid's bow and also the very bottom of my lip. It's creamy, but it's matte. It doesn't feel tight or dry. And then I'm going to use the Anastasia lip gloss in Toffee over top. I like this gloss. It has tiny little gold flecks in it. It's not sticky, but it is a little goopy, if you know what I mean. So sometimes I will work it in with my finger a little bit. Makes it feel a little thinner, a little less goopy. But I think that color is really pretty, especially for fall and this eye look. So, last step. We are there. Now my hair is going to look a little crazy because I haven't put any curl in it yet, but we're going to take it down and see what happens. Today I'm using the Pacifica Coconut Essence Hydro Mist setting. You can use it as a setting spray. It's not actually labeled as a setting spray, but it says it on the bottle you can use it for that. It has a really nice mister. It feels like that mister that they have at the zoo or at amusement parks, where they have that so you can cool off, and it just is such a nice cooling mist. That's what it feels like. Way to go, Pacifica. There are some other ones that I have that I do not like the mister on them. Maybe I'll dump them into this bottle when I'm done, because that is a very affordable setting spray, and the mister is better than some of the high-end ones that I have. Alright, let's release the hair, and I'll probably end up putting a few curls in it. I have a doctor's appointment, so I actually am going somewhere. I'm not just dolled up for myself this time. But I really like how this look turned out. I was happy to pull out the Too Faced Then and Now palette and be able to use it again, and it made such a beautiful fall eye look. So any questions about anything that I used today, or any of the brushes or techniques or anything, please comment them down below. Also, subscribe if you would please. That would really make my entire year. And also give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and come back again. I've got lots more to come. I'm going to continue to make videos until it's not fun for me anymore. That's hopefully not for a very long time. So also go over and follow me on Instagram, because I post there nearly every single day. And I love you all. I will see you again soon in my next one. Thank you. Bye.